From Tony and Ziva rekindling their romance in an international reboot, to Abby Shudo starring in her own forensics-focused series, these are NCIS characters who deserve a spin-off show. NCIS has been around for ages now, and in the past has managed to deliver several successful spin-offs. But despite there being plenty of NCIS to go around, there are still a few options that have gone so far unexplored. If the producers are looking for some new exciting ideas, then why not bring back two of the series' most beloved characters? With their incredible on-screen chemistry and their extensive history together, Tony DiNozzo and Ziva David getting their own spin-off would probably make for some exciting viewing. There's no denying that fans of the show have been itching to see Ziva and Tony again. The last time we saw the pair together was in season 11, and when we learned of Ziva's death in season 13, as well as the daughter she kept from Tony, we thought we wouldn't see them on screen again. However, when it was revealed in season 16 that Ziva had faked her death, it definitely seemed possible for the pair to make a return. When we last heard from them both, they were living happily together in Paris with their daughter Tali. They might be all happy and comfortable living that cozy life in France. It's a shame we haven't seen them together for over 10 seasons. So naturally, the fans want to see more of Tony and Ziva, and think they definitely deserve their own spin-off. Thanks to their great on-screen chemistry, now seems like the perfect time to introduce a new version of NCIS. I mean, CBS could just as easily spawn an international version of the show, which could explore crime from Ziva and Tony's perspective. In France. Sure, it's something NCIS hasn't done before, but why not? They've got all the time in the world to explore this uncharted domain. I wouldn't mind seeing older versions of Tony and Ziva, maybe raising a teenage daughter? But hey, if anyone deserves a happy ending, it's those two. Maybe it's best not to drag them back into the action, since there are plenty of other characters who could get a spin-off that should have gotten more time than they did on the show. We first saw Special Agent Abigail Boren back in season 7, and she managed to stick around till the 12th installment. There was also a 2015 guest appearance on NCIS New Orleans, but the fans feel that her time as an NCIS cast member ended much sooner than it should have. They are very vocal about the fact that they'd love to see her come back for a spin-off series, even though the chances of that happening right now are kind of non-existent. Fans loved Boren's character so much that they rooted to let the actress get her own NCIS series, with the special agent in the lead. Fans enjoyed her performance so much they even dubbed her the female Gibbs. That's pretty impressive, really. They also recalled how she deserved a much better send-off than what she got in the end. And perhaps a spin-off series can finally correct that and make things right in the NCIS universe. I guess she's still fondly remembered by most of the series fans. But what they might not know is that actress Diane Neal allegedly had a tiff with the producers, which is why her tenure ended rather prematurely. Well, certainly hope that's not the case, and NCIS can give the fans what they want. With all the massive changes the show has seen over the last several years, like Mark Harmon's big exit, some fans started to wonder if there were opportunities for other big-name characters to get their own spin-off series. Take McGee, for example. When Gibbs left the show, a lot of people thought that McGee would be taking his place as the prolific team lead, but it was snatched up by a newcomer, Special Agent Aldine Parker, portrayed by Gary Cole. Fans were actually furious with this new development, because other than Harmon, McGee was the one who had been with the show for the longest time. But this could have been a deliberate move on CBS's part. Hopefully they're thinking about a separate storyline for McGee, perhaps in a spin-off series in a totally different location? And whilst it feels a bit more earned for McGee to take over the lead role on the main team, it's not the worst idea. But it's always disappointing when your fave characters end up leaving the show. And this was particularly true for Emily Wickersham, who played the role of Ellie Bishop. The actress left in season 18 amidst the leaked document scandal, which definitely had more to it than what we saw on screen. While this still left the door open for her to come back, the actress confirmed that it was the end of the road for her. Now, fans believe that since they didn't really get closure with Ellie's departure, she should get her own spin-off show, especially considering that she's one smart cookie. One of the newer members on Gibbs' team, she has a seriously analytical mind. Ellie even began her NCIS journey as an employee of a totally different agency. Yup, she was working as a data analyst for the NSA, where she was tracking communications and files from potential threats. She had the ability to work through data quickly and solve cases like puzzles, which made her a fantastic asset to the team. Now imagine all of that, but in a different show where Ellie is taking the lead on solving the cases, with that brilliant mind of hers. Not bad, right? Her character was on the show for 7 seasons, and during that time, she had a will they won't they seesaw thing going on with Nick Torres, which ultimately ended with a they might but she's leaving sort of situation. The two agents did share a kiss during Bishop's last episode, but she ended up walking away from Torres. With a potential spin-off, they could even rekindle this romance and give the fans something to celebrate. Nick, on the other hand, has been an NCIS regular for a long time, and it's about time he got his own show. Torres was initially recruited by NCIS to work as a deep cover agent, with his career spanning at least a dozen different aliases during his time working as an undercover operative. There's so much narrative to unpack here. When the fans could get a deep insight to what his life has been like, he's probably the one character who's been in several life-altering, dangerous situations. And it's really cool to see how his intelligence basically rests in his ability to deceive people. It's probably why he's so good at being an undercover operative, right? Like Tony, he's pretty good with people, and it would be interesting to see what's next for his character in terms of growth. Users on social media also pointed out that the current season is pointing at a potential exit for Torres. While nothing of that sort has been confirmed, it would make for the perfect time for a spin-off series to come into play. Given his dynamic with Ellie Bishop, a likely exit could see him leaving to help her, and it would also work perfectly for a romance angle, right? It also makes the most sense, considering how he feels about her. And I don't know about you, but I'd watch the heck out of an Ellie Torres show. However, perhaps no one else deserves a spot on their own spin-off show more than NCIS forensic specialist Abby Sciuto. She's been a specialist for 15 years, before she left the show for several controversial reasons. In fact, her exit at the very end of season 15 came as a total shock to fans, who thought this was completely out of the blue. During her time on the hit series, there wasn't a single code she couldn't crack, a chemical component she couldn't uncover, or a computer she couldn't get into. She might have needed help at times, but she always knew exactly what to do and who to involve to get the best possible results. She was also pretty darn fast. The best thing about Abby wasn't that she was book smart, she had also had pretty impressive investigative skills and a special kind of knack for managing her time. She was a fan favorite for all these reasons and more. And it only makes sense to cast her in her own spin-off series. I mean, think about it. Having a forensics-focused show would be so cool, and unlike anything NCIS has given us before. With Abby in the lead, it would totally make sense, and I'm sure the fans would absolutely love it. The original show could focus on the same format, with new characters, but Abby would really hold her own in a potential spin-off series. So from Abby Sciuto starring in her own forensics-focused series, to Tony and Ziva rekindling their romance in an international reboot, those are the NCIS characters who deserve a spin-off show.